How could people thousands of years ago keep food edible? Not for days, not for months, but for years, sometimes close to a decade, without electricity, chemicals, or refrigerators? This question sounds absurd to the modern mind. We live in a world where milk spoils in a week, cooked food turns dangerous overnight, and best before dates dictate fear more than smell or taste. Supermarkets throw away tons of food every day, while households panic if the fridge door is left open too long. And yet, history presents an uncomfortable contradiction. Ancient communities, farmers, sailors, nomads, monks, and villagers regularly stored food through harsh winters, long sea voyages, wars, famines, and migrations, not as a rare trick, but as a normal part of survival. Some foods were deliberately designed to last 5 years, others 10, a few effectively indefinite. No refrigerators, no preservatives with unreadable names, no plastic packaging. So what happened? This isn't a romantic fantasy about simple times, it's a forensic investigation. Because if ancient people could preserve food for years without modern technology, then the real mystery is not how they did it, but why we can't. Something fundamental changed. Modern food preservation is built on a fragile assumption. Cold replaces knowledge. Instead of understanding food, we freeze it. Instead of working with microbes, we kill them. Instead of time-tested processes, we rely on speed, additives, and sealed environments. Ancient preservation worked the opposite way. It didn't fight nature. It orchestrated it. And once you see that, the puzzle starts to unravel. Here is the first broken belief we must confront. Ancient food didn't last long because life was short. This is false. Grain stores in ancient settlements have been found still structurally intact after centuries. Salted meats recovered from shipwrecks remained recognizable after years underwater. Fermented foods, wine, garum, miso-like pastes, cheeses, were intentionally aged for long periods because time made them better, not worse. Preservation wasn't a defensive strategy. It was a design principle. Food was created with longevity in mind from the very beginning, starting at harvest. The first secret lies not in storage, but in selection. Ancient people didn't preserve everything. They preserved the right things. Animals were slaughtered at specific seasons when fat content, muscle composition, and mineral balance were optimal. Grains were harvested at full maturity, dried slowly, and never stripped of their protective layers. Vegetables were chosen for density, fiber structure, and natural resistance to decay. Modern agriculture optimizes for yield and appearance. Ancient systems optimized for stability. This matters more than it sounds. Food that is biologically stable resists spoilage naturally. Food engineered for softness, speed, and sweetness does not. Before preservation even began, ancient food already had a structural advantage. Then came the second layer, controlled dehydration. Drying food is one of humanity's oldest technologies, but ancient cultures understood something modern dehydration often ignores. How moisture leaves matters more than how fast it goes. Meat was air-dried in moving wind, not trapped heat. Fish was salted lightly first to draw water out gradually. Fruits were dried in shade or indirect sun to preserve sugars and acids. This slow dehydration did 3 critical things. It reduced water activity. The reason ancient food lasted for years is not because people were smarter or more patient. It's because their entire food system was built for preservation, while ours is built for speed. This is the turning point of the story, where the investigation stops looking backward and starts pointing forward, directly at the modern world. Because once you understand this shift, the mystery solves itself. Modern food doesn't spoil faster by accident. It is designed to, not maliciously, but systematically. The moment food systems became industrial, preservation stopped being a cultural skill and became a logistical problem. and logistics have one priority above all others: throughput. Faster harvests, faster processing, faster distribution, faster consumption. Longevity became an obstacle. Ancient food preservation assumed food would travel slowly, be stored long-term, and be eaten across seasons. Modern food assumes food will move quickly, sit briefly, and be replaced constantly. This single assumption changes everything. Start with raw materials. Ancient crops were genetically diverse, structurally complex, and naturally resilient. Their skins were thicker, their fibers denser, their internal chemistry more hostile to decay. Modern crops are optimized for uniform ripening, thin skins, high water content, visual perfection, rapid growth. These traits make food attractive and profitable, but biologically unstable. High water content equals high spoilage risk. Thin skins invite microbial invasion. Uniformity removes natural defenses. Before preservation even begins, modern food is already compromised. Ancient food started strong. Modern food starts fragile. Then comes processing. Ancient preservation slowed food down. Modern processing breaks food apart. Grinding, refining, emulsifying, pasteurizing, homogenizing. Each step increases surface area, exposes nutrients, and disrupts natural barriers. From a microbial perspective, modern food is an open buffet. This is why modern preservation relies so heavily on external control. Refrigeration, chemical preservatives, modified atmosphere packaging, artificial acidity. Instead of building food that resists spoilage internally, we trap it in controlled environments and hope nothing goes wrong. When the power fails, the system collapses. Ancient food didn't collapse when conditions changed. It adapted. This leads to the most misunderstood difference of all: our relationship with microbes. Ancient people didn't fear microbes. They curated them. Modern food safety philosophy is based on elimination. Kill everything. Sterilize all surfaces. The final truth is not that ancient preservation was complicated, it's that it was integrated. And integration is exactly what modern food systems lost. When people ask how ancient food could last 10 years, they often expect a single secret technique, some forgotten trick, some magical method, some exotic ingredient. There was no single secret. The durability came from layering. Each step reinforced the next. Each decision reduced risk instead of shifting it downstream. Farming supported preservation. Preservation supported storage. Storage supported trust. Nothing stood alone. Let's reconstruct the ancient logic in its simplest form. First, food was grown slowly. Slow growth creates density. Density resists decay. Plants grown in living soil develop stronger cell walls, thicker skins, and higher concentrations of bitter and acidic compounds that microbes dislike. Animals raised on diverse forage develop firmer muscle fibers and more stable fat profiles. None of this requires mysticism, only time. Modern acceleration strips food of these defenses before preservation even begins. Second, harvest timing mattered more than yield. Ancient farmers harvested when food was mature, not maximized. Grain was allowed to fully dry on the stalk. Fruits were picked when sugars and acids reached balance, not when they looked good on shelves. Immature food rots. Mature food stabilizes. This alone extended shelf life by months before any preservation method was applied. Third, preservation reduced complexity, not increased it. Ancient preservation simplified food's environment. Less water, less oxygen, fewer competing organisms. Drying removed moisture gradually. Salting drew water out while introducing mineral barriers. Fermentation lowered pH and filled ecological niches with allies. Each method made the food less inviting to chaos. Modern preservation often adds complexity, packaging layers, chemical interactions, artificial conditions, all of which require constant maintenance. Complex systems fail more often. Fourth, storage completed the process. Preserved food was never left exposed. It was sealed, buried, hung, submerged, or stored in environments that matched its new biology. Cool earth stabilized temperature. Darkness reduced oxidation. Stable humidity prevented cracking and mold. Storage was not passive. It was the final preservation step. This is why ancient food didn't suddenly spoil. Decline was slow, visible, and reversible. Now comes the most important realization of all. Ancient preservation wasn't about stopping decay. It was about choosing